Hello, welcome back to another video. So you Gucci already know we're gonna do the fractional indices today, or Americans say it, rational exponents. So basically, it's just rational and sets and indices and exponents, but fractional. That's what it calls, yeah. So anyways, this video I'm gonna show you guys the rules first. And then I'll jump into some exercises how you're going to use these rules, and it's going to be it. So first rule, we have a to the power of 1 over n. It's going to be equals to n root of a. So nth root of a to the m is also equals to a to the power of m over n. Or you can also do this, and then which in turns you can also do that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So a to the negative of m over n is also equals to 1 over a over m to the power of n, m over n, yes, sorry. So yeah, this is also another rule right here. So nth root of x to the m over yth root of x to the z is going to be equals to x to the power of m over n divided by x to the power of z over y, which in turns you can write it as that. So x to the power of m over n minus z over y. That's really cool. And also you have another rule right here. Nth root of x to the m times yth root of x to the n. You already know. You can simplify this into rational exponents, and then you can add them like that. So x to the power of m over n plus n to the y. N over y. So now you also have this property right here, which is really useful later on when you do maths. So x to the n equals to x to the m. If x to the n equals to x to the m, that means that n equals to m. So that's a very cool property right there. Now, let's jump right into the questions, practice questions. So first up, we have this right here. This question right here, let's suppose you have that. How are you going to solve that? So a to the power of 2 over 3 divided by b to the power of 4 over 3 multiply all to the power of 3 over 4. Now, you already know the rule a to the power of n, m equals to a and m. And m. Therefore, what you're going to do is that you multiply that by that, right? And then multiply that by that, right? So you get that. Very cool, very cool. And what you're going to get is at the bottom is going to be that and that. So right now you can actually simplify it further like that. So 2 divided by 4 is just going to be 1/2. And 3 divided by 3 is going to be 1. So 3, 3, 4, 4 cross out. And you get 1/2 a to the power 1/2 b over b. So 1/2, you know that it's actually square root. So we then write it as a square root of a over b, or you can just write it as 1/2 b. So that's the first question. Now let's suppose you have 10 squared x to the power 4 over 0.01 and then to the power 1/4. Now please note that 0.01 you can actually simplify it into fractional indices and exponents, because mathematicians don't really like using decimal numbers because it's very hard to deal with. And so yeah, so you can write it as 10 to the negative 2, right? So therefore we can rewrite this fraction and you get 10 and you multiply that, and then that, right? Actually, let's rewrite this fraction first, and then we'll talk about that later. -2, and then you get that. So now let's multiply that into these ones, and you will get 2 over 4 x 4 over 4 over 10 -2 fourths. I mean 2 over 4. Yes. So now that you have that, you can simplify that. That's 1/2. So just square root, and then that's just 1. Now that's -1/2. Aha. -1/2. So how are we going to solve this, you may ask? Now, wait, let me just write that real quick. Now, what you essentially can do is that you use the rule that you have. So this is basically just -1 multiplied by 1 over 2, right? So which means it will just be -1 over 2. And then you can simplify this further by saying, what's it called? The square root. Or 1/2, and then -1, and then square root of 10x, right? And then this means that square root of 10 times x, and then you get this whole fraction right here to negative, means that it will comes up as 1/2. And then what you can essentially do is that turns into a square root, and then square root of 10 multiplied square root of 10 is just going to be 10, so 10x. That's a pretty hard question right there. Now, let's get to a new question right here. So let's say 32 to the power of 2x plus 3 is equals to 128 2x. How are you going to simplify that? So firstly, we have to know that 2 to the power of something, this is divisible by 2, so therefore 2 to the power of something is going to be equal to 128. So let's remember, so it's actually going to be 2 to the power of 7. So you can also use your calculator if you want. So 2 to the power of 7 to the power of 2x equals to 32, and 32 is also divisible by 2. I'm pretty sure 2 to the power of 4 is equals, no, to the power of 6, is it? Let me put it in the calculator. No, 2 to the power of 5. Yep, 2 to the power of 5 is equals to that. So now you can simplify this, and you get 5 times 2x plus 3 equals to 7 times 2x. Now, 5 times 2 is just going to be 10x plus 15. And 7 times 2 is just going to be 14x. Remember the rule. X to the n equals to x to the m. Then n equals to m, right? Remember this rule right here. We can use that rule for this equation right here. So therefore, 10x plus 15 is going to be equals to 14x. Okay? Which means if we just minus 10x from both sides, we get 4x. 15 equals to 4x. And 15 over 4 is going to be equals to x. So that's one other practice question for you guys. Now, let's say you have 5 to the power of 3x plus 2 equals to 625. Okay, we know that 625 is divisible by 5. I forgot how much. Let me put it into a calculator. 625 divided by 5, so probably to the 4th. Yeah. So 5 to the 4th is going to be equals to that. And we can rewrite this as 5 negative 4. Now, we use the rule again and we get 3x plus 2 equals negative 4, and then we get 3x equals negative 4, negative 2 plus negative 4, which is equals to negative 6. 3x equals to negative 6, therefore x equals to negative 6 divided by 3, which is going to be negative 2.